Gentlemen, welcome back to the shop. We're just having a quick wipe down and some tea and sympathy. You guys are asking if I didn't bite off more than I could chew with this big behemoth. Well, the thing of it is, I wanted a machine I could grow into, not a machine I would instantly grow out of. You're here for a short time and you're a long time dead. I did my fucking around with $300 beaters and scrapyard Mazaks. You know, I'd done all that. Partner, it's all junk when it's broke down. So I did not want to get myself into a Tormach, essentially, because no tool changer. Also, if I seen the fucking things in the flesh and they don't cut for shit. You see them running on that shear hog there. Jeez, slower than cold molasses. I just couldn't deal with it. I couldn't deal with it. So rather than fucking around with the wrong tool for the job, it says right on there, it says personal CNC. So you want to do onesies and twosies and you want to fuck around with tool changes and all that, partner, be my guest. But once you're into a payment anyway, listen, I ain't gonna pay 30 grand a shot for a Tormach. It just ain't gonna happen. There's gonna be some financing there. So once you're already talking to the cork stuffers at the bank, what the fuck's the difference? In for a penny, in for a pound. No, this pain in the Haas, she's starting to grow on me. Mind, we had our honeymoon arguments, but any marital bliss isn't all it's cracked up to be. You know, you kind of want a challenge once in a while. The reason I got the Haas, which is kind of known in the industry as a minimum viable machine tool. Here's the thing. You do not need a Ferrari for delivering pizzas. So the kind of work what we're doing, this is more than adequate. So any additional cost over and above the already exorbitant sum they're asking for these things, it's just, it's wasted. It's wasted on what we're doing. So this machine tool is exactly what we needed to grow into. But why'd you pull the trigger on a Haas? You could have got a Fadal, or you could have got a Hurco, or something other than Haas, for God's sakes. I think the rigidity issues that they used to have, that they've always talked about, and they're still dealing with that legacy, was fabricated steel frames. Okay, so these are iron castings, which are far better. This machine is 16,000 pounds. Just about everything that we're going to cut, it's got plenty of power. The other thing is Haas power. The spindle, notoriously overrated for the power. Well, the thing is, there's a torque curve there for any spindle. So depending on the speed you're going, it's not going to put out the horsepower what it's rated at. That's just the way it is. They have been called out in the past over Haas power problems where you put something on a 15 or a 30 kilowatt spindle on another machine, say a Mori, and it just fucking chews it, and you put it on this and she rattles herself to death. That I haven't seen. We haven't, the spindle, we haven't really got it up to full chooch anyway. We're running 15 kilowatts. Now that is some serious power in my opinion. But why in particular not, another name? One, support. As a learning on my own, ain't nobody even got fucking back to me for a quote. You send these motherfuckers a request for quote and they think you're some goof off the street. They don't even reply to your emails. All of the outfits, the only ones that replied was Haas. And they actually only replied direct from the factory. The dealers here in Canada wouldn't even fucking talk to me. Brutal, fucking brutal, terrible, old school, old boys network, like just thinking last century, nothing online. Even go on the websites of these manufacturers, just look at the website and you will see how horrendous they are. You try and spec out a Mazak if you don't know what you're already looking for. You're fucked. You're fucked. It's just a bunch of numbers. As a corollary to that, the VF3s and VF2s, they're ubiquitous. They're the Bridgeport milling machine of the CNC world. They're the Chevy 350 of the automotive world. You know you're going to be able to get parts. Chances are somebody's got an old mill laying around. It's going to be a Haas, and it's going to be a VF2. So they're not going anywhere. I bet you their volumes are bigger than anybody else. Not that I know in particular, but the other side of that is the YouTube videos. They're actually fucking useful. Like, they're interesting and they're actually useful. They're doing what corpo types refuse to do, which is actually give valuable insights to their customers. You don't see that. And what really sold this machine was that handsome Jamaican fella what services these. You watch the video, like, that is some helpful fucking shit that you don't get from her. You don't get anywhere else. You just, these companies are fucking tone deaf, completely tone deaf. I've been on this hoary old earth long enough to know you got to play the long game. So this is a 25-year machine I'm planning on. This will bring me into retirement. Yeah, well, YouTube doesn't pay medical, right? There's no fucking insurance there. So these guys, they get 100,000 subscribers and they quit their day gig. Yeah, partner. There's a natural story arc to everything. Hey, once you hit that little couch, she's all downhill from there. So I'm very cognizant of not overstepping my financial bounds, and I'm very cognizant of the longevity of this media. It's still in question. It's a brand new thing. So I ain't quitting my day gig anytime soon. This will bring me into retirement, which was what I was getting at. Are there a few things I would prefer? Yeah, absolutely. In order to get the hose running, you got these stupid fucking ball valves over here. You got to reach over. You get sprayed. It's just a fucking gong show. Terrible. Terrible. Should have a solenoid. I think John Saunders did that. This thing is pretty fucking chintzy here. This little dingus arm that spits out. No fucking good at all. The other thing I should have got, which I got lots of accessories, right? You're making a payment anyway, just get the fucking thing and get it indoor and get it over with. So we got the through spindle coolant, we got the air blast, we got all that stuff. One thing I didn't think I needed was the chip conveyor or even the 3 augers. That was a big mistake. This thing fucking gets too many chips in it and it powers out and then has to reverse and yada yada yada, and you get chips all built up in there, spending about 20 minutes to clean up all in there when, you know, if you can, let a machine do the work. Then there's this, the brake booster for the fourth and fifth axis. If I had known, I just would have bought one of those guys. That's $1,000. All that is a pressure intensifier. So if you got the time, it's one of those things. You want a turnkey, spend the money on turnkey, or, you know, you could spend half the money and do it yourself type deal. So the machine comes factory with some LED lighting, but then an option is to add some extra lighting. These are 20 watts. They turn on when the doors open. $1,000, which I thought would be great for filming. I bought that for filming so you could see, and also the high speed. The problem is they're pulse width modulated. So you see flicker when you're taking any slow-mo shots. It's a real pain in the cunning lingual. So yeah, I gotta, despite spending $1,000 on the things, they ain't no fucking good to me. So I got to go ahead and build something with a constant current source. The other thing that's a huge expense, likely overpriced, but saves so much headache, is the tool setter and the Renishaw probe. Just incredible. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I had no idea why you would ever have a CNC that did not have wireless probing. It's just fucking, it blows my mind at how good it is. The other thing I got here, Krista Prisco got me this on account of, you can get those 6X Kurtz, excuse me, choking here. You can get those 6X Kurtz for cheap, but they're only ground on the top and bottom. So these are ground on the side if you got to mount it for an oddball. So when you're finally taken enough metal slivers and stuck them in the couch so that you hear in the middle of the night a great screech, you know, yes, it's coming. And the 3/4 finally acquiesces and says, you know what? You got to get the fuck out of here. There's no, you don't want to go and have that budget talk twice. So I'm of the mind you buy the tool what you're going to grow into, not the tool that you're going to grow out of. Thanks for watching. Keep your dick in a vice.